Oh, we like to party. Bloody Nunawading. Woo! Party on. Wow, yeah, it's great to be here in Nunawading. That's an ancient word, means can't afford Blackburn. But anyway, anyone from Nunawading? Anyone from Nunawading? What about Boxall, Laburnum, Blackburn, Nunawading, Mitcham, Heatherdale, Ringwood, East Ringwood, fall asleep, wake up in Lilydale, and some skinheads trying to steal your runners. Bloody hell! Get your hands off my K26s. Get off them. Bloody, it's great, isn't it? Bloody love it. It's great. Anyone from Ringwood? Anyone from Ringers? Yeah, boo. Mate, there's been a lot of initiatives out here since I moved out. I'll tell you what, Eastlink, a road that connects Ringwood and Frankston. Now, if there's ever two places in the world that should be kept apart, it's Ringwood and Frankston. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but how many Saturday nights did we sit around the 80s going, fuck, I wish I could go to Frankston tonight. Pay $5 for the pleasure and get stabbed on the beach. That'd be awesome. Ringwood to Frankston, that is the Bogan connection, isn't it? They've got a separate lane for ice addicts on their scooters, like, meh. All we've got to do now is work out how to connect Narry Warren and Sunshine, and we're laughing. Build a massive tunnel, that's what I'm reckon, and have like a Centrelink at work cover and a cop shop on the end, and catch all the stray blokes in their tracksuits wandering out. What's going on here? What's going on here? All right, Nunawading, yeah, I'm a Mitcham boy. Let's go clubbing, yeah? Let's hit the old haunts, yeah? Yeah? What do you reckon? Let's hit Burvale. Dangerous, the Burvale. All right, Donny Inn, yeah? No. Area, Croydon. Dirty Dorset, the Dorset Hotel. Oh, absolute. Stylus? What about Stylus? What's Stylus now? What is Stylus now? It's an Aldi. So you can still pick up on a Thursday night. That's good. And of course, Stylus, before it was Stylus, was of course the Swagman with the smorgasbord that we're famous for. The Swagman. And then we'll head up to the Cuckoo. Yes. Get some pancakes from a 50-year-old bloke in Leaderhouse, and that'll be awesome. The best nightclub, though, the number one nightclub, of course, was the Stage 1 Disco at the Manhattan Hotel, Ringwood. We could walk home from there. And what made it special, the special place that it was? Revolving dance floor, that's right. Revolving dance floor. There's only one other nightclub that had that in Melbourne, the 21st in Frankston. It was like a conveyor belt, wasn't it? Anyway, it was so the dance floor would spin around for people that are too young. It would spin around, and only the girls would dance because Ringwood. And it was a bit like a chicken rotisserie. All the girls would like. That's a sushi train for you younger folk, and we stood on the side going, that one. Met my wife there, but anyway, that's all right. Married to a chicken, a lot of plucking going on. Anyway. No, it was good for the girls, though, wasn't it, Jackie? Good for the girls. Jackie, did I pass you? No. Sam, did I pass you? Who was good for the girls because they had a bit of an out clause. So you'd be talking to like Sandra from Croydon, thinking, "Well, this is going all right," and you're going, "Yeah, people do say I look a bit like the guy from Duran Duran. You're absolutely right. You're right." And she's like, "I've had enough of this cockhead." She just stepped back on the dance floor and fuck off. You're like. What happened to Sandra? She's gone. She's absolutely gone. So, Mitcham High, success story, absolutely. Any other Mitcham High graduates? Prison release scheme over there, that's awesome. What a school. No, it was a great school. I still remember my first day, 1977, that's right, kids. Year 7, Form 1, we used to call it, 1977. I had 2 older brothers that were very naughty. And back then, the teachers did not hide their hatred for the O'Neill family, did they? These days they've got to pretend, not in the 70s. I remember first day the guys doing the role. Okay, Johnston here, O'Neill. Oh, hang on a minute. Are you Mark and Trevor's brother? I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh, fuck. Are there any more of you? I said, I've got a twin brother called Glenn. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ. We're going to have a break now. And I saw him smoking by the taps. So... Schoolies didn't exist, did it? When we were at school, it didn't exist. Yeah, this is my schoolies, okay? Finished HSC, the HSC in 1982. Me and my 4 mates, 4 guys, there were no girls. We started the Dungeons and Dragons Club and didn't meet any, so not exactly a chick magnet. Dragons weren't cool back then. Anyway, We rode our BMXs up to the Mitcham pub, old Bunny's Bistro, and we put our BMXs against the wall. We went in, we're all underage. We sit in a booth, right? 5 of us. The publican comes out and he just goes like this. No. He gets to me, because I'm a bit fat, he goes, yes, what do you want? I said, 5 beers, thanks, mate. So, no, I didn't say that. I said, the Diet Coke. He goes, it's 1982, hasn't been invented yet. So, had to have a tab for beautiful people. So that was good. That was absolutely good. Oh, man, Mitcham High, what a school. And then we rode our BMXs down to Ringwood Centrelink and registered for the dole on the same day. We rode our BMXs down and registered for the dole. And in the interview, the guy said, when did you finish school? I said, half an hour ago. So... And we just sat around on that sweet government money while we got our results from HSC. And it's hard to explain to the kids that there's this whole movement now called raw dogging. It's not what you think. It's where, no, it's not what you think. It's young guys on Instagram get on a plane and they don't watch anything on devices. They just sit there. They just sit there and they congratulate. I went from Adelaide to Melbourne for an hour, didn't look at my phone once. Oh, you're amazing. That was our childhood, wasn't it? Mate, we drove from Melbourne to Perth 5 days with nothing but I Spy. That was it. And maybe an Archie comic from the service station. We'd stare at Betty and Veronica. Oh, who do I like more, Betty or Veronica? After 5 days, Jughead was attractive. So, that was our childhood. And then on a Sunday, did we go to like escape rooms or anything like that? No. We wanted to drive, a Sunday drive, didn't we? And Dad would get you in the car. So you got to imagine the HR station wagon. It was Dad, Kev, my older brother Trevor in the middle, in the front seat, and Joyce in the passenger seat, me and my 2 other brothers in the back seat. And we're driving along, and Dad had control of the stereo, of course. And he had one cassette, Tijuana Brass. And... so it'd just be... and then we'd all be talking and I'd go, all right, bit of peace and quiet now for your father. He needs to concentrate on the driving. Because we'd always drive the same place. We'd go to Uncle Barry's block of land in Kangaroo Ground. Dad would get out, turn the tap on, check the water's on, then get back in the car, then we'd drive back. That was it. That was the Sunday drive. So you got to imagine we're driving along. A bit of peace and quiet for your father now. He's concentrating on the drive. Trevor, he'd be about 14. We're driving along. He just goes, this is shit. Dad's like, Trevor, shut up. Do not speak. You speak again, you're out of the car. This is shit. Right, get out. Pulled over in the middle of nowhere in the bush, kicked him out. We just drive off. We drive off to the block of the land. We meet Uncle Barry there. We turn on the tap. Barry's like, oh, how's it going? How are the boys? How's Trevor? Mum's like, we don't know. We don't know how Trevor is. Then we drive back looking for him. We can't find him. Eventually we spot him. He's up a tree. He's climbed a tree like a koala. And Mum has to lure him down with a peanut butter sandwich. Come on, Trevor. Come on. You couldn't do that these days, could you? You get arrested, wouldn't you? For giving your kid a peanut butter sandwich, absolutely. It's hard to explain to the kids what it was like back then. I've got a 15-year-old son. He's like, Dad, what was your phone like when you were 15? I said, mate, you might want to take a Panadol after telling you this and have a lie down. When I was 15, it was 1979. That's right, son. And I shared a phone with my 3 brothers, Mum and Dad, and Ethel, the lady next to her, couldn't afford one. He's like, you shared a phone with 6 people? I'm like, yeah, I tell you what, watching porno was very hard back in those days. He goes, so you only had 1 phone in the house? I said, well, to be honest, my brother worked for Telecom. He was an apprentice, and he put on the extension line. Ooh. So we had 2 phones, but it was really 1 phone. And so then he's like, so what if you want to, message one of your mates and your mum's on the phone and, tell them that you're coming over? I said, well, get this, mate. We would get off our asses, we would ride our BMX over to their house and fucking surprise them. He's like, what? And then did you get on their phone and play games? No, mate. There were no computer games in 1979. If you wanted to play computer games in 1979, you'd get your ass out of the beanbag, didn't you? You had to ride your mongoose down to the Ringwood bowling alley and put your 20 cents in the fucking Frogger machine, mate. He's like, what, are you speaking English? What's a Frogger machine? I tried to explain him what a great computer game. What a great computer game. I said, you've got this little frog and you've got to try and cross the road without getting run over. And then you had to jump from log to log to log. And then if you fell in the water, the frog drowned and the game was over. And my son's like, yeah, but Dad, frogs live in the water. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Anyway, it's my story, all right? And he's like, how did you get the 20 cents to do the Frogger machine? I said, well, we used to do this thing in Scouts called Bob a Job. And, well, Bob a Job, what's that, Dad? Well, get a load of this, mate. We used to dress up in our little uniforms. We were about 10 or 12. The leaders would send us out into the community by ourselves. We'd knock on strangers' doors and we'd say, oh, hello, I'll do anything for 20 cents. How are you? What did Baden Powell say? Be prepared, yeah. For what, anyway? And then he said, so you're at someone's house, you can't use their phone, what do you do? I said, well, you go into another mate's house, then you get to another mate's house, and you get about 4 or 5 of you, then you go down the park and the bush. He goes, well, that sounds boring. I said, not really, mate. We had matches, fireworks and air rifles, yes. And we used to make bombs as well. Yeah, we made bombs. We got arrested for making bombs in the early... my son's like, how did you know how to make bombs before the internet? I said, mate, we didn't need the internet in the early 80s and late 70s. We had a guy that would come on TV every night at 6 o'clock called Brian, and he was on the Channel 9 News, and he told us everything we needed to know. They even had a little jingle for him. Brian told me, Brian told me, Brian told me so. So anyway... Let me take you back to the O'Neill household, 1981. Probably about 1981. Okay, all right. Mum and Dad were having dinner, all right. Now, every night at 6 o'clock on the dot, okay? Now, at 6 o'clock, we'd all sit around the dinner table. Mum, Dad, the 4 boys, all right? Now, Dad was military, right, ex-military, so he'd sit there like this, and he'd just, all right, bit of peace and quiet while you eat our dinner. And he'd just stare at people, like... Not even eating properly. Joyce, look at them. They can't even eat properly, these kids. Then he'd compliment Mum. These bloody chops are nice, Joyce. Jesus, I wonder what the poor people are doing today. I think they're eating Red Rooster, Dad. Anyway, shut up, don't be a smartass. All right. All right. And then, because men were treated differently, weren't they, in the 70s, the 80s, weren't they? There's some people here that remember that men were treated like kings, weren't they? Remember when Dad would come home from work? Dad would come home from work. Oh, my God. In the 70s, Mum would be there. She'd hear the car came around the corner. She'd go, oh, put on a bit of lippy, bit of peace and quiet for your father now. And he'd get ushered into the lounge room, sat in the armchair, given the newspaper, a cold beer, probably a blowjob. I don't know. Did they happen in the 70s? No, they're not happening now. Anyway, and Mum would go, all right, bit of peace and quiet for your father now. He needs a bit of transition time from work. Now, what man gets that treatment now? Any man here? Any man? Any woman get that treatment now? No. No, I come to my house. I've got 3 kids. I pull in the driveway. I can hear them screaming and fighting, and I just sit in the car and go, oh, fuck, do I have to go in? Seriously? I wish we had one of those signs they have in bushfire areas with a little needle indicating how bad it is on the inside, you know, like... mild, extreme, go back to work. So we're sitting there, we're eating dinner, right? Bit of quiet for dinner, bit of quiet, and then the phone would ring. Oh, and Dad would lose his mind. There bloody is every night the 6 o'clock phone call. Don't answer it. Don't answer it. Don't you bloody answer it. Bloody rude people. I go and answer it. Oh, Dad, it's Keith from the Freemasons. Oh, that could be important. Yeah, I'll answer that. Yeah, g'day, Keith. How are you going? We need a new goat. Okay, yeah, fair enough. We'll organise that. We weren't really allowed to use the phone, were we, guys? We weren't. Emergencies only. Emergencies only, Dad would say. And if we wanted to be picked up from the railway station or the blue light disco, we, didn't get a pash and got chased by a skinhead at Target Ringwood at the blue light or the one in Nunawading, we would have to do a thing called a couple of rings or 3 rings from the public phone box. Who remembers a couple of rings or 3 rings? Yes. So there's some younger people here. I can feel this, at least someone under 40, and this will freak them out. Okay, so how do we explain it? Okay, you go to a public phone box. Oh, how do we explain that? Jesus. You know Doctor Who? It's like the TARDIS, yeah? It's like the TARDIS. You go in there, you put your 20 cents in the public phone box, you ring the home number, you hear it ring 2 or 3 times, and before someone picks up, you hang up and you get your 20 cents back. That's a couple of rings, 3 rings, yes. Yes. And of course, we'd be at home and the phone would ring and Dad would go, don't pick it up. It's your mother, don't pick it up. She's given us a couple of rings, don't pick it up. We'd always pick it up. Oh, hi, Mum. Mum needs to be picked up from Eastland, Dad. Told you not to pick it up. Anyway, so we're sitting around dinner, 1981, all right, four teenage boys, Mum and Dad, bloody, don't, hey, that, hey, because Dad was military, he was Vietnam vet, and he would march every year in the Anzac Parade. He kept getting more medals. I don't know, pretty sure he's buying them on eBay. I don't know what was going on. Like, you'd look at him and go, I don't remember you fighting in the Panzer Division, Kev. Like, oh, best cake at the Benalla show, that's a good one. Anyway, anyway, so we're and also Dad had positioned himself in the only seat that could see the TV into the lounge room. He was the only one who could see it, so he'd be like this. Yeah, what's bloody? Shut up! What? Oh, bloody hell! The Westgate Bridge is falling down. Look at that! Oh, bloody hell! Shut up! Eat your dinner! Eat your dinner! But we could hear it, right? We could hear it. So we're sitting there and we hear Brian say, 2 boys were arrested today in suburban Bundoora for making homemade bombs. We're like, whoa. You could hear a pin drop in the O'Neill house. And then Brian told us how to make them. They made them using common household objects, chlorine from a pool and brake fluid. We're like, what the fuck? Dad's a fitter and turner. He'd have brake fluid. We've got a pool. We've got chlorine. So we had a pool, but we had the Clark rubber octagonal one, the 4-footer, whirlpool, reverse whirlpool, horsey, yeah, woo! Oh, it was awesome, the pool. Unfortunately, it burst in the 90s and flooded the Greek neighbours, and they got a bit of chlorine in their ochra. But anyway, so we're like, oh, Dad, can we please be excused from the table? He's like, yeah, bloody, get out. Get out, bloody get out. So I reckon within about 10 minutes, we were down the park making these bombs, right? And then the next day, we got our mates together. There's Noddy and there's Popo and there's Wookie, and we all got together and we got some containers from the garage, yeah? And we made these huge bombs, right? And we took them down the paddock to let them off, right? But we were like any terrorist organisation. We were gutless. We didn't want to actually throw the bomb. You had to throw the bomb. I don't want to tell the kids how to do it, but you had to throw the bomb to make the chemical reaction. I don't have a science degree. Anyway, whatever. Yeah. So we did what any good terrorist organisation would do. We recruited someone younger and dumber than us. So we go down the paddock and Phil Kendall's hanging out with, he was about 40, and he goes, what are you guys doing? We're like, Phil, do you want to join the Mitcham branch of the IRA? Jump the fence, mate. Here we go. And he picks up the bomb and holds it near his head. He goes, what do you want me to do? Throw the bomb, Phil. Throw it, mate. What? Throw it, Phil. So he throws it and it just bounces like this. Boom, boom, boom. And it's like, oh. And then a bang. It was the loudest explosion we'd ever heard. And, we were veterans of Cracker Night. You know what I'm saying? Who remembers Cracker Night, yeah? Oh, it's very hard. Again, my 15-year-old's going, Dad, explain to me Cracker Night. How did it work? Where did you get the fireworks from? Do you have to go into the city and go to Chinatown and buy them secretly? No, we bought our fireworks from the milk bar. And then you let them off late at night, like secretly? No, we gathered the whole community in a park or a paddock, and then you let them off? No, we built a massive bonfire in the middle of the crowd. We pushed all the children forward. And then we let them off. He goes, what about the fire brigade? I go, mate, they loved it. They lit the fire. Don't worry about that. Oh, bloody right into it, mate. So this explosion was so loud, all the neighbours came out and stood on the street corner, like, oh my God, what was that? And I heard an old lady say, it shook the foundations of my chook shed. And we're like, oh, your hands are going to be laying omelettes for weeks, like. It was all laughs until the cops turned up. Yes. And you heard the two doors go boom, boom, and we saw the cop walk down like this. And oh no, his name was Darren. He went to Mitcham High. And make it even worse, he was a former scout from my dad's scout troop, because Dad was a scout leader. That's right. And so I think it was the easiest case Darren's ever solved. He just looked at the containers, pointed at the O'Neill house and went, case closed, dun dun, like the end of Law and Order. And we're all like, oh no, Darren's on to us. And then Dad comes home early from work. He sees Darren in his police uniform. He's so excited that one of his scouts is still wearing a uniform. He bounds out and he goes, "G'day, Darren, how you going, mate?" Darren just shuts him down. "Sorry, Kevin, this is not a social visit. Do you recognise these containers?" There's like a police lineup on the nature strip. And Dad's like, yeah, they're from my garage. And Darren's like, "Where are the boys, Kevin? Where are the boys?" So we stayed hidden in Phil's backyard until we saw Dad's station wagon leave for a scout, Freemason meeting, whatever. Mum, we go in there, Mum's like, "Your father's so embarrassed. You have to go to the Nunawading police station tomorrow and see the police and explain yourself." And so we get in the car tomorrow, me, my brother, Noddy, and the guys, and Dad didn't say anything. Didn't even put on the Tijuana brass. He was so stressed. And I said to Noddy, "What's the strategy here, mate?" He goes, "Lie, cry, and deny." But I just started crying straight away, because we go to the Nunawading cop shop. Darren's not there. There's this big bloody copper, big detective, Senior Sergeant Steve Johnson. And he goes, "I'm Senior Sergeant Steve Johnson. This is Rajid. He's an Indian bomb expert on load from Bombay." And there was an Indian guy in a white coat. You're like, what? How many bombs are going off in Blackburn? But anyway, whatever. And he's like, "Right, boys, we've got some questions for you. What's in the bombs?" Rajid couldn't work it out. And not a very good bomb expert, is he? He goes, "Don't be a smart ass. What's in the bombs?" I go, "Chlorine and brake fluid." He goes, "How'd you know how to do that?" I said, "Brian told me." He's like, "Brian? Who the fuck's Brian?" So we all started singing, "Brian told me, Brian told me, Brian told me so. I know everything I need to know, because Brian told me so." We didn't sing, but anyway. I'm quite the singer, though. I was in a band in the 80s. I don't know if you guys know. Have you guys ever heard of Noiseworks? Yeah, it wasn't in them. Anyway, I was a band called Captain Coco, made up of Mitcham High and Whitefriars boys, absolutely. We put out a record. We went on tour. We went on TV. We went on Recovery. No, not Recovery. We went on The Factory. The Factory became before Recovery. It was like Recovery. The Factory was hosted by Andrew Daddo and Alex Paps. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds awesome. Why isn't that still on? And just before the interview, we went on, we mimed our song, and Andrew Daddo was going to interview me and my brother. Andrew turned to me and he said, "Hey, mate," this is when the cameras are off. He goes, "Hey, mate, remember, I do the funny stuff around here." Oh, we're still waiting, Andrew, but anyway. Nailed him, anyway. And I've got hair, but whatever, don't worry about it, Andrew. The highlight of Captain Coco's career, though, was playing at the Nunawading Skate Ranch. Woo! Who used to go to the Nunawading Skate Ranch? Speed skaters only on the rink, speed skaters only. Couples only on the rink. That rubbed it in when you were 14, didn't it? Couples only on the rink for a bit of air supply. We supported Pseudo Echo at the Nunawading Skate Ranch. Yep, true story. The power went out when they all used their hair dryers at the same time. Pseudo Echo, but we love music, and we used to go and see bands in the city. We used to go see bands. Sure, we go to, Manhattan had some good bands, Dorset had some good bands. We would get the train into the city, and then we would get the last train home on a Saturday night. Who remembers getting the last train home on a Saturday night? Yeah, that was scary, wasn't it? This was before the Night Rider, let me say that much. The last train was scary because it was full of angry young men who hadn't picked up, basically. Because I believe if you're at a nightclub, like, say, Inflation's, Wall Street, I didn't get into any of these places, the Tunnel, you wouldn't meet a girl and say, "Oh, you like me? You want to come back to my house?" Well, if we rush, we get the 11:56 to Lilydale and touch on, touch off, let's go. So what happened in 1982, a band called Devo toured. Now remember Devo with the red hats, their big hit, Whip It Good, Crack That Whip, no. Anyway, it was a Saturday night, we saw them at Festival Hall, me, my brother and some mates. We got the last train home, and from Festival Hall to Richmond, we were the legends of the train. We're sitting on the song in homemade Devo hats that Mum had made us. And we're saying, crack that whip, no. Unfortunately for us, that same night in Melbourne, the Angels and Rose Tattoo were playing at the Myer Music Bowl. Yeah, and all their fans got on at Richmond, and we're talking, this is the early 80s, massive bogans, like mullets, stretch acid wash jeans so tight. As they walked on, you went, ooh, circumcised, not circumcised, and they get on like this, and they see us in the carriage with our homemade Devo hats, and they're like, what the fuck? Look at these fuckheads, Gary, look at them. We'd ruin their Saturday night. They're like, we don't get up at 6 a.m. to start our welding apprenticeship in Mooroolbark to see this shit on the train. This is bullshit. And so the biggest one comes down like this, and he's got the mullet, and he hangs on that strap in front of me, and he's looking at me and up and down. And I think because I was wearing nice brogue shoes I'd bought, Levi Faber once, a lemon V-neck jumper, and the homemade Devo hat. So I don't think he knew where to start. You know what I mean? So he started at the bottom. He's like, where'd you get your fucking shoes from? I thought, to be honest, I said, Speeds at Box Hill Plaza. He goes, bullshit, you got them from a fucking op shop, didn't you, mate? I said, well, where'd you get your Ugg boots from? Your Nana's wardrobe? I didn't say that. I didn't say anything. I just hope that the energy dome, that's the correct term for it, would transport me out of there. He just picked it up and threw it out the window. Makes a good frisbee. I said, well, Mum's going to be angry. She spent a whole afternoon making that, mate. Then he moved up to my face and he's like, are you wearing makeup? I said, why would I be wearing makeup? I was wearing makeup. No, I wasn't new wave or anything. I come straight from my gang show rehearsal to the Devo. I don't know if anyone's cool enough here to know what the gang show is. It's a Girl Guide and Scout theatre show. And so I had red lipstick and foundation on. And so he just goes, oh, I'm going to have to bash you, mate. I'm going to have to bash you. I had to think quick. I said, really? You'd hit a woman, would you? He's like... He's like, are you a woman? I said, yeah, mate, I'm a lesbian. Because, I do look a bit like a lesbian, let's be honest. People say I look like an overweight Katie Lang, but as my wife said the other day, you're looking more like Dawn Fraser every day, so... Oh, I've had Renee Lawrence from the Barley Nine, that's not a boy band, that's a... Drugs. I've had Magda Skabansky. I've had them all. Well, I haven't because they're lesbians. But anyway, and you got to remember, this was 40 years ago. I was a good-looking young lesbian back then. I was good-looking. Anyway, so he got all excited. He's like, oh, I've never met a lesbian before. Guys, there's a lesbian over here. So we pashed all the way to Ferntree Gully. It was like, you guys have been awesome, Nunawading. Thanks for coming out. People from Mitcham, Blackburn, Wanturna. Oh, I've been Dave O'Neill. See you again. Thanks very much.